Countdown. Hi, I'm Willie Bragg. Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I would have done a video this morning, but I was literally feeling like absolute crap. And I'm going to basically not go into too much detail other than in the last, since Wednesday morning until this evening, I have literally visited the toilet close to 30 times. I probably lost a few pounds. I feel a little bit better. Some people were thinking I had COVID or something, and I checked the symptoms of COVID. I don't seem to have that. I'm going to get myself checked. I do feel a little bit better, but just the same, I called work and told them I'm not coming in because I was just when I called, I was still feeling kind of cruddy, and I got up, I took a shower, I grabbed myself a bite to eat, I chilled for a little while, and suffice to say that I feel better now, and I'm just going to just take it easy this evening. And decided to do a video. So here I am right now. So I want to talk about my my opinion first on Senator Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona, and she's kind of an interesting person in the sense that back in the 1990s, she started off very early on in her life as a left-wing activist, ironically within the Green Party, and then she became a left-wing Democrat, and then got elected to the U.S. House and then the U.S. Senate. And while she was not exactly a female Bernie Sanders running, she was not exactly an AOC running, which I'm not sure if AOC today is the AOC of 2018, but that's beside the point, and y'all hear me criticize AOC relentlessly. I will argue that AOC, with all her faults, she's got many, in 2022, is probably still a slightly better person than Kyrsten Sinema. That's not saying a lot. Now, with regard to Kyrsten Sinema, she campaigned in 2018 as kind of a progressive type and all that. She was the first out of the closet bisexual woman to get elected to the U.S. Senate. That's a good thing if one is to determine identity politics in a yay or nay sort of way. I'm policy driven. I don't care who you sleep with. If you got good policies, I want to hear what you have to say. If you got terrible policies, or you don't really have an answer to policies, then I don't care for such politicians. But apparently she campaigned on Medicare for all, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. She also campaigned for free college and the Green New Deal and lowering prescription drug prices and things of that nature. She did a little bit of virtue signaling, the first out of the closet atheist to get elected to the U.S. Senate. And what was it? She didn't swear on the Bible. She swore on a dictionary, something like that. Again, performative, identity politics. Don't care. I'm not judging her, but I don't care. I care about actual policy that's going to make life better for people, not being performative as far as trying to create this edgy image of how much you're a rebel. Prove that you're a rebel by voting on things that's going to make people's lives better. Well, the thing about Kyrsten Sinema is that I began to notice when she gave Senator Mitch McConnell an affectionate pat on the back. and then voted no on the minimum wage increase, which pissed the fuck off of me. It really did. That pissed me off. And with the Build Back Better, the thing about it is that I mean, she's been paid off by the pharmaceutical companies. They gave her close to $1 million to basically prevent her from advocating lowering drug prices. Something that would be fiscally responsible. I do not understand why our politicians are, especially those who claim to be fiscally conservative, would always embrace legislation that would prevent negotiation for lower drug prices and don't want government involved in our healthcare system. But they'll go and put up legislation making it unlawful for you to cross the Canadian border to go and buy the cheaper drugs. And I know why. The reason is that they will go and it'll be proof that the Canadian system is superior to the American system in terms of healthcare. And I this is the way I run it. United States healthcare system is shit. The Canadian system is better. The ultimate way to go is the UK National Health Service. I'm a realist, and I don't think we're going to get a National Health Service. I actually spotted that with this pandemic that happened in the last 2 years, we should at least have been having a public option added to Obamacare, but that's not even going to happen. So thing about it is that she basically gave the middle finger to the American people with her vote against the minimum wage increase, and basically being allowed to do the bidding of the pharmaceutical special interests in this country. So I'm very, very mad at her. She is deeply corrupt in my opinion. And the thing about it is I'm at odds with myself because I found out that she's going to vote to keep the filibuster. Now, I am 50-50 on this. Part of me wants to condemn her for it, but there's a part of me that actually, even though she doesn't give a damn about people like myself, there's a part of me that says it might not have been a terrible thing for her to vote to keep the filibuster. And there is nuance to that question. The side of me that says kill the filibuster, it is because I want good, solid, New Deal, Great Society, economic legislation that will go and improve the lives of ordinary people in this country. The kind of legislations that will expand union rights, which unions need to be expanded in the public and private sector. We need legislation that's going to go with the Build Back Better, the way it was originally created with Bernie Sanders as the chair of the Ways and Means Committee. He basically the plan he designed for Build Back Better would lower Medicare prescription prices because it will allow the U.S. government to negotiate for lower drug prices, as I keep mentioning. It would lower Medicare eligibility age down to 60. Bernie, just like myself, would like to see Medicare available to all people, but from 65 down to 60, that is a step in the correct direction. It's not as far as I want it to go, but I know that's the best that can be done. That's the most radically realistic plan that can pass at the moment. It will inch us better toward full Medicare for all. I wish we go National Health Service like they've done in Great Britain. But having that said, that was one of the things that was supposed to be in Built Back Better. Free community college tuition, which I think college tuition ought to be free across the board. But that is also a step in the correct direction. Paid parental leave for working families, husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, whoever needs to take care of newborn children for 12 weeks and it be considered paid leave. Those are good things. It's not even food stamps and Section 8 housing and all of that. This is something that's universal for people, regardless who you are in this day and age. And and the fact that we have a 50-50 Senate is so razor thin. It proves what Jimmy Dore said. And it took two right-wing Democrats, Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, to prove what Jimmy Dore was saying a year ago about the potential for the left to win victories. And that it was that force to vote turned out to be the correct strategy. If you're attached to the Democratic Party and your heart is in the right place and you believe in the squad and you're watching this program, I hope that you'll realize that Jimmy Dore was correct on force to vote. I just want y'all to realize that. And for those that are, that they're part of the boutique left and believe that playing patty cake and just wanting a seat in the table. You see, I don't want just a seat in the table. I want to either take over that table and push these goddamn establishment motherfuckers out of the way, that or flip it over. But here's the thing. Filibuster. Okay, she votes to keep the filibuster. Joe Manchin votes to keep the filibuster. Nothing gets done. The way I see it is that Built Back Better is so pissed away and so watered down. I'd rather have nothing pass than just some crumbs, as it turned out to be. It ended up being crumbs. So in that regard, that part of it, I would be like, well, I'm reluctantly going to have to say good. But there is another caveat I want to add to this. And that is, we know what the foregone conclusion of the election in November is going to be. And that foregone conclusion, unless, and anything can happen between now and then, but the foregone conclusion is that the Republicans are going to take back the House and take back the U.S. Senate. It's going to be done because traditionally, when there is one party that controls the presidency and controls Congress in the first 2 years, usually the opposition party comes in and take it back. And that's what's more than likely going to happen. Plus, add to the fact that Joe Biden, when he said last year there will be no fundamental changes, I hate to tell my fellow leftists that relied on voting for Joe Biden last year that I told you so. But I told you so. And, in 2024, if Joe Biden keeps on the same route he's going, and if he still has sense enough in his head that he can run a presidential campaign in 2024, I will more than likely vote green or not vote at all. There's no way you're going to make me vote for Joe Biden again. And if Hillary Clinton runs again, forget about it. There's less of a chance of me voting for Hillary Clinton than there will be Joe Biden. I do think that Joe Biden is a better person than Hillary Clinton, but that's a very low bar. And I mean, and I'm saying this as somebody who will tell you that Joe Biden was better than Barack Obama and better than Bill Clinton. Again, a very low bar. He didn't, he kind of worked with the left just a tad bit more than previous Democratic presidents, but not that much more. He's still pretty much a blue dog Democrat, a corporate Democrat, the kind of Democrat that was very much a public face of groups like the Democratic Leadership Council in the 1990s. Now, having all that said, with the Republicans taking back Congress in 2022, by January 2023, if the filibuster is killed now, I want y'all to think about this for a moment. I want you to think about this for a moment, because if the filibuster gets killed, if it gets killed, what could happen? And that's what I want y'all to think about. And oh, good Lord, I was trying to switch to something. Oh, I know how to do this. Okay, so anyway, I would like to say, Kyrsten Sinema, makes me angry, but she might have done done a very big favor for those who are on the left and those who cares about basic constitutionality of our governance. So, I want to add a caveat to this, and that would be what will happen when the Republicans are likely to take back the U.S. Senate. If the filibuster is gone, we got to deal with this guy. We have to deal with Mitch McConnell. And, I shudder to think what would happen in the Senate with no filibuster, with Mitch McConnell as the Senate Majority Leader again. And one can argue that he is the Senate Majority Leader by default right now. With Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, he's still calling the shots. Chuck Schumer is the only Senate Majority Leader by title, and he's a wimpy piece of shit anyway. Fuck Chuck Schumer, But the thing about it is that Mitch McConnell is brutal. I mean, he is destructive as he can be. He's vicious, and he will use his power for vicious means and for vicious ends. And that's no exaggeration. That's no hyperbole. He is truthfully an evil man, in my view. I despise Mitch McConnell intensely. This guy, as Senate Majority Leader, would do a lot of damage, and he definitely would do it without a filibuster. And if we still have a filibuster and he becomes the Senate Majority Leader again, you bet your beetle boots he'll try to kill that filibuster, because he would. Because think about some of these Republicans when they, I remember in the 1990s when the Republicans were saying to me, a lot of Republicans I know, trying to convince me to join their side. It's like, well, you like term limits. Well, the Republicans are for term limits. Just because I've always supported term limits, even when I was a quote-unquote Democrat, and still support term limits to this day. I think the term limits in Congress still should be enacted. Thing about term limits is that when the Republicans used to campaign on that, because they've been out of power in Congress for over a half a century, and as soon as they got that back into power, you never heard them talking about term limits again. So if there is a filibuster by the time Mitch McConnell becomes Senate Majority Leader, he will get rid of that filibuster, and he will, what few good things that could potentially be achieved through the Democrats and through Biden, he will shoot them down, just as he did during the days of Barack Obama. And as I said, very few things. So, and of course, I know the writing's on the wall. The Democrats are going to return to Clintonism once they lose Congress, because they'll blame the left and make the left feel like shit inside the Democratic Party. The writing's on the wall. I've seen this too many times in my almost 53 years of living. I'm 52. So I've seen this way too many times. So thing about it is, when it comes to term limits, just like the filibuster, I'm consistent. I favor it. I think it was a good thing when the Republicans came up with term limits for the presidency, even though FDR was our greatest president. I still said that was a good idea to have term limits. I think it's a good idea to have term limits in the U.S. House and U.S. Senate, and various gubernatorialships across the country. But you know what? We should also have term limits for the U.S. Supreme Court, because the court is shifted so far to the right now and everything. And honestly, I would not want the court to shift to the left per se to have the left perpetually ruling either. I think it's a healthy balance to have the court shifting back and forth. And it's healthy for our democracy. You don't want one side to perpetually win. Which, again, people like Ted Cruz, who sat there and praised Jesse Helms and wished that there were 50, the Senate could be ruled with 100 people just like Jesse Helms. He said that in a Heritage Foundation conference many years ago. And I even would not want 100 Bernie Sanders in the U.S. Senate, even though I think it would be a marginally better country if we did. But the point I'm trying to make is, I do believe in the basic functions of civil society, and let the best ideology in each election cycle win. And when I say ideology, I don't mean red and blue. Let's add the Green Party. Let's add the Libertarians in there. And as terrible as they are, let's even add the Constitutional Party. Let's add the Socialist Party. Let's add, whatever political party floats your boat. Let's have a truly multi-party system. I really do, in fact, believe that with all sincerity. But anyway, as I said, it's a disguised blessing, and I'm officially 50-50 on whether we should continue to keep the filibuster or not. So we have a chat line here, and let's see right here. We have Hot Retarded Chicks. She murdered it, thank God. Well, as I said, one side of me says, this sucks that she murdered the filibuster, getting rid of the filibuster, but what happens if Mitch McConnell takes over? And that's I would want a filibuster to put a stop to Mitch McConnell. Let's see here. We got She's Hot. She's not my type, but I mean, is she attractive? Sure. Let's see. Let's see. I love that fuck off ring. Yeah, I kind of think it's tacky, but just. It's her way of trying to be edgy. Filibuster forever, baby. Well, as far as that filibuster is concerned, as I said, I'm mixed on it. And that's basically what I've said in my long-winded way in the last 20 plus minutes. Kim Iverson reports supernatural oddities. Things disappear in her own. It like eggs. You really need to pay attention to these things. I just hope that she doesn't grift, and I think anybody's capable of grifting. So I just hope that her tweet the other day was frustration that would be very temporary, because she's a little bit weird and a little bit quirky, and that's not an insult on Kim Iverson, but I just think that I'm just hoping that what she said in that tweet was just a temporary quirk that is, as I said, temporary. Let's see here. We got never should have taken that shot. I don't know in what context. But anyhow, and anywho, I will say this. If you all like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree, comment anyway. We'll have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we're in fact the muckrakers of our time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, help make this channel grow. And until next time, I'm going to try to get better. I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm going to try to get better. So anyway, to each and every one of you, until next time, keep that class struggle going and free Julian Assange.
I write a lot of essays for school, but I also write sales descriptions for my Etsy
That's not
shop.
cool, that's not cool, that's not cool.
Normally on my work emails.
Okay, here we go.